Hi, I'm Danielle Hartman, and this is Poured in PA, a series sharing the stories of Pennsylvania's craft beer industry. Exercise and beer may not seem like a perfect pairing, but runners all over Pennsylvania and beyond meet weekly to log some miles and enjoy a few beers. Beer runners find a sense of community in these meetups, and that's very evident with the clubs that we try to keep up with.
There is nothing better than a nice cold beer after a long run. I do love the beer.
Some folks like to have a beer before the run. I'm not one of those people. I like to have a beer afterwards.
If there's one beer that is the best beer ever, it's that beer after exercise.
I started running because I was going through a very difficult time in my life, going through a divorce, and I needed to channel all that negative energy in a positive way. And I'd never run in my life. I was 43 at the time, and I stepped out my door and ran down the end of the block and felt a little bit better. And then the next thing you know, I'm banging on my friend's door saying, hey, I want to be a runner. Train me for a 5K. Essentially, it was therapy for me. But one day we were running, and he was telling me about this study that he read about online about this medical doctor in Spain who did hydration studies with beer. And he said that if you drink a little bit of beer with water after a run, it won't hurt you. And I was dumbfounded. And Eric and I were like, wow. So we happened to be running by a bar. So we stopped by and we said, let's try it. So we tried it, and we had a beer, maybe two. Next run, went to another bar. Over and over and over again. And finally, the idea came to me that, hey, we really need to share this. This is really something special. All right, everybody! All right. We are the Fishtown Beer Runners. Fuck, we're running and drinking. The interest of science. Any new runners tonight? In 07, our very first run was December. We had 4 runners, including myself. And then by 2008, 12 runners. And then 30 runners, and then it just really exploded. The word got out, essentially word of mouth. The press picked up on it. Next thing you know, we're in the New York Times. The press was very interested in this concept of beer running, and they weren't sure if it was real, if it was a joke. I get many calls and inquiries saying, hey, what is this about? In 2014, a documentary was made, again, out of curiosity. The filmmaker, he thought he was going to be filming a bunch of frat boys running around drinking beer, and then after having a conversation with me, he realized it was a little deeper, and I hadn't realized that this would become a movement, if you will. It was just my own personal journey. I've had, all sorts of folks, start running with this little hook.
I have always hated running, and 110%, they've drew me into the community. And January of 2020, I did my first and last ultra marathon, and it's thanks to the beer runners. What can I say? It did change my life.
I had done other running clubs before, but Fishtown Beer Runners was great because it wasn't intimidating for someone who's not a serious runner. I don't think I am. It was just really easy to just join this group and jump in.
Could be a fitness goal, could just be, hey, I want to meet people, but we introduce new runners at the beginning of every run, so we spot those people out and we make sure that they have a great time that night.
Come on out, it's a lot of fun. There's people that run at all paces. There are people that don't run at all. You just show up at the bar, no questions asked.
Might be your wife.
You might be your wife.
Go on, just try it once, you might find your wife. My group of friends were all in the military together, and a few of them were running that night. I didn't do the run portion, but I met at the bar, no questions asked, of course. So we all met there, and then
our mutual friend, Clint, introduced us, and Clint slowly backed away, and then it was just us two. And yeah.
That was it.
That was it.
We want to welcome all the new runners! We are the Fishtown Beer Runners! We are! We're running and drinking in the interest of science! Cheers, everybody! I actually did meet my now wife through beer running. She's not a runner, but the doctor in Spain who did the study, I actually had emailed him, and he invited me to Spain to actually give a talk at the medical school about how we applied their research. And then the following year, I came back to help them start running clubs. My wife was part of a PR marketing firm that was helping establish all these running clubs in Spain. So that's how we met. Then it just led to all sorts of other opportunities. Right after the film came out, I was diagnosed with stage 3 kidney cancer. I found out by running. I was training for the New York Marathon, had a pain in my side, turned out to be a kidney stone, which led to the discovery of the cancer. I didn't run New York that year, but the following year I came back and ran New York and Philly with a new determination to run not just as a beer runner, but to run as a supporter and as an advocate for others with cancer who are runners or who can't run, and to raise funds for them through the American Cancer Society as well as through Legacy of Hope. That's another aspect of our club that's really important to us, is doing community charity events.
Usually every month we do a fundraiser run, so we partner with the bar, and at least some portion of the funds at the bar go to whatever nonprofit we're supporting. I think it's just an extra plus that, we get to hang out with the people that we love while also helping out the city that we love.
They have brought 70 to 100 people into our brewery on a random weeknight, so it's been great for us. We love it when they come by. And then, any nonprofit component type event, we're all behind, so it's great for us, it's great for them, it's great for the community.
When I started Beer Runners, I was also a volunteer tour guide at the Philadelphia Brewing Company. They saw this concept, for me, and they thought it was crazy. Until I started bringing in, 40, 50, 60 people and started doing fundraising events and being really a brand ambassador, if you will. And now, you can't name a brewery that doesn't have a 5K or their own running club.
We do a lot of events here at Shawnee Craft. In April, we have this great 15K run that starts right here in the brewery, runs along the McDay Trail, comes back. We have a big party. That's always been a great time.
This club would not have started, and most of us wouldn't even know each other if it weren't for Monica, so we keep playing right there.
We had a manager a number of years back that really wanted to figure out a way to get her daily run in, and of course combining it with a beer at the end is the best way to go. They've been meeting here for many years, I'd say about 6 or 7 years. They've been coming here running every Thursday. The group's obviously evolved over time. That's a group of locals, but visitors often will join them, and anyone's welcome to do so. They run on property in Shawnee, in the little village, a little bit on the golf course. They usually do a 3-mile run. Many times they will stop at the river at the end of their run, especially on those hot July, August days, and just jump right into the river.
I found out about the group in Fishtown, and I became acquainted with some running friends. We ran a relay race together, and at the end of it, I just had the opportunity to ask them, hey, I've heard about this idea. Would you guys be up for trying that here in Gettysburg? If so, maybe we can do it one night, see how it goes, and we've gone from there.
Coming back next week, let's raise one to the professor! To the run! To the run!
This is our 10th anniversary here tonight. The first time we did it, we probably had a dozen people. There are always some variables. It depends on the weather and whatnot. But more than a few times when we've had 100 people, and we have a nice night in the fall or the spring in particular. It's very easy. All you've got to do is show up. We've got people who are real serious runners, and we've got folks who just walk. And the beauty part is that once we're inside having a beer, you would sometimes be hard-pressed to tell who's who. And that's really what's really kind of neat about it. We are blessed to be in the most famous small town in America, historic and the battlefield area. The Park Service roads are well paved, of course. They're beautiful, they're great. But the borough of Gettysburg is also a great place to run, as are some of the other places in Adams County. So we do have a really wealth of places to run and a lot of great places to go, too. For a small town, we've got a bunch of restaurants. We've got some great breweries. We're standing at one of them right now.
Anytime Mr. Purdy comes in and asks for a date, we're overly excited to have them come because they're really great people. They take care of us, and this group has brought people in that may not have been coming here, and luckily since they got to experience us and they liked it, they come back on a regular basis now.
It's been great. We've known these guys for quite some time. The founders of Fourscore also are the folks from Tommy's Pizza, which is right down the street, which is where we first got started. And they have really done things right. Their product is great, not just the beer, but the food. And then the management here is always happy to have us, which is wonderful.
Mark, this organization has changed my life. It's kept me going through the winter. It's kept me from putting on 15 pounds every winter. Thank you for everything you do. To Mark!
Well, we've got two marriages, and we've got an engagement, so we're about to have 3. But even more than that, I know we have some folks that would tell you that they would not have met some of these other people that they know, and a lot of them have really become lifelong friends. So it just shows that something is simple, the simple concept of let's get some exercise and have a beer together, yet it really kind of does a magical thing, and so that's really what's been great about the whole experience.
In 2016, a friend of ours, she lived in Gettysburg and kept talking about this Gettysburg Beer Runner group, a very social group, and she kept pushing me saying, hey, you like to bring people together. This is a great project for you. I reached out to Gettysburg, but then I reached out to the original beer runners, the Fishtown Beer Runners, and David April, and I went to them to make sure I had their blessing. This was April of 2016, and then by June, we put it together and had our first official beer run. The very first beer run in June, we did it at Old Zero Day. We wanted to do it someplace that was small, that was intimate, that felt like your neighborhood bar, because we were trying to bring people together for friends. This was not about running too much or drinking too much. It was kind of a happy medium. Zero Day was extremely welcoming. They said, look, come on these days. It's our slowest day, so you're going to really attract some traffic. We had almost 50 people out the very first time. And I decided at that point that we wanted to do it weekly. I was the person that was scheduling it. I was reaching out to the restaurant, to the brewery, to the pub. And from there was a point where I actually had a couple of places reach out to me to say, hey, would you bring the group to our place? The breweries have been very, very welcoming. Nobody has said no. They've just said, if we do it, what do you need? When do you want to do it? We always ask for pitchers of water. We've had places that have offered discounts. So we've been really respectful of them. We've been respectful of the other patrons that come into their place, because we want to make sure that we're supporting them and providing business, not taking away from it. What we're doing is we're bringing out the people that will be social but don't consider themselves the real runner. So the reason for them coming out is the after part, having the beer. And that's kind of our target. That was really what the goal was of this, is to bring the everyday person out. The person that wouldn't socialize or wouldn't come out to a group run, they come out with us, because they know that, again, we have a very diverse group. We're very accepting of runners, walkers, people that just come out to socialize and don't even do the run or the walk. They just like to be part of the group.
I enjoy running, and I also enjoy soda.
Nora's a root beer runner.
I mean, there are definitely runners out there who are like super competitive and really great at stuff. Like, that is very few of us here in this running category. We just run because it helps us, with mental health, or helps us burn off steam, or helps us just have the kind of active lifestyle that we want to. And beer can kind of be the same way, that like, it's just for fun. Like, it's like they both seem to just be pure enjoyment.
While we love running, we love supporting restaurants and pubs, we also love supporting the local running community. So we get a lot of folks that will volunteer at races. We've had aid stations that have been staffed by nothing but beer runners. We also are known during certain races that if you're in the know, there may be some beverages out on the course that are hidden. So we do it respectfully. We like to have fun. We have over 1,500 people that are part of the Facebook group now. And I said, okay, I need someone else to help me with this. So what we ended up doing was opening it up so that anybody within the group can create a course. Anybody can come out. One of our runners just had his birthday, and every year he likes to run a certain number of miles based on his age. So they went out and they ran 20 miles, and then they met at Appalachian Brewing Company on Cameron Street. The group has been really respectful of making sure that they would do things the way that I would do things, because we really want to be responsible members of our running communities. just go do it. I'm one of the slower people. There's always going to be someone that is willing to walk with you, or people are going to set their pace around you. We want people to feel really welcome and comfortable.
I used to live in New York City. I moved here and I was looking for the best beer in Pittsburgh. So I searched Google and all the lists that you would find is Dancing Gnome. And then on the website, I found out that there was a run club. So I figured, what better way to enjoy a beer and meet new people than combine both of them. So that's how I found out about the run club and Dancing Gnome.
Lustre Day 2019, I came here to get beers. I parked my car, saw there was a huge line. I said, I'm going for a run. Came back 2 hours later, still a huge line. But I did get some beers and decided every year I'm gonna come here for Lustre Day 2021. I think 5 or 6 of us ran from here. We're waiting in line for some Lustras, and Andrew from DG approached us and said, hey, you guys wanna start a run club? We said, absolutely, sure, why not? It took about 5 months to get together, and we started it May of 2022 for Lustre Day 2022.
The Run Club was something that I had actually wanted to do since we started. It was part of our original business plan, interestingly enough. It took a bunch of years to actually make it happen with being busy and kind of needing the right people to come along and work with. Arjun and Allie and a bunch of other folks were coming and running from Dancing Gnome anyways. I just went up to them and I was like, hey, do you have any interest in doing this for real and having a Dancing Gnome Run Club? I'll handle all the kind of logistics from the Dancing Gnome side if you guys will organize the runs.
If it's your first time, raise your hand. Okay, everybody that's raising their hand, find them, say hello, buy them a beer, what have you.
A typical weekday run is 30 to 40 people. In the summer, a weekend run, we've had over 100. So as far as participation, it's a little bit of both. I think a lot of them are already fans of Dancing Gnome, and it gives them even more of a reason to come kind of hang out and have that community aspect of things. It definitely has brought some new folks into the fold, since you don't have to be a member to come to the runs.
Anyone can come run with us. It's free, you just show up. We've seen some of the beer community come out because they wanted the free half pour after, and then they turned into runners. So that was pretty cool.
We've met so many awesome new people in the Pittsburgh running community and beer drinking community for that matter that we had never met before. And we've even seen people progress from walkers to runners to 2 to 3 mile runners. And that's really been pretty awesome to see.
I started doing this, I barely could run an entire mile, and we just got back and we ran a little over 2.5.
You get a nice workout in, there's a little prize at the end and a little motivation to get you back.
I like to say that we're a beer drinking club that likes to run a little bit.
We're pretty unique that we're tied to a brewery. We know that there's other clubs out there that, kind of bounce around. I mean, Pittsburgh has a lot of running clubs. We're pretty lucky to be in the city that runners can kind of choose where they want to go and have options every single day of the week.
During the winter, we did travel to different breweries because Sharpsburg can get pretty dark at night, and we've had some really great partners. Trace Brewery has been wonderful to us.
Yeah, we ran from Allegheny City Brewery. They were fantastic, extremely welcoming. We ran from Two Frays. They were also awesome. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun to visit the other breweries in Pittsburgh while representing DGRC, and it was just a winter thing, but we're gonna move that into the spring, summer cycle too, just to spread the love.
Every time we've had one of the run clubs out, it's been really fantastic. I think people come to breweries because they're looking for a sense of community and a gathering place, and I think people are attending run clubs for the same reason. It really brings people together.
All right, everyone, thank you for coming to YRC. There are a lot of
coming out of the pandemic and looking for community. I had a friend that asked me to train him for a half marathon in San Francisco. I said yes, and while I was doing that process, I saw an article in GQ about this run club in LA called the Koreatown Run Club, and the way that they use this community to support small businesses, to support the very hyper-local community. And I thought, yeah, that's what I wanted to do. So gathered some folks together on July 19th, 2021, had 5 people, brought my camera, took some photos, ran 3 miles, and then we've just been rolling ever since.
The Yinz Club success
is generally because it's fun. Like, he creates a fun environment, everybody's a happy set of people. We've seen it grow from, I think there were 10 or 15 people at the first run, to a point now where I don't think we can handle them.
The dedication is unlike anything I've seen. It's the heat, but it's also in the snow. They show up in numbers, and it's really nice that they have their own little camaraderie that they bring to us and have established good friendships and stuff like that.
People now have a better understanding of who we are, and that when I say we're gonna show up with 70 people, we're gonna show up with 70 people. I have them run on a Wednesday, and a bar, a brewery that may be a little bit sleepy that day, I'm gonna come in and bring you hopefully a Saturday night to your brewery. And if I can provide that, that's a mutually beneficial relationship, because without them and without their locations and without the community that they have built because of the place that they have, we wouldn't have a run club.
Yinz Run Club reached out to us and said, hey, we got a group of people that are excited about beer and running, and wondering if we can convene at your location. Of course, that's awesome. That's the kind of like community involvement and group hosting that we are here for.
It's really awesome that Yinz Run Club seeks out small businesses. I think that that's pretty fantastic. We're also a small space, so they were kind of creative in working with us of having a larger group come through, and that opened some opportunities for us as a brewery of ways that we could use our space for other groups.
It's a cool community that, you know, they rotate through other breweries and other spaces that are friends of ours, like Two Frays and Coven and Cinderlands, and, you know, they've all hosted elements of running clubs also in the city, and yeah, we love to see it. Share the love, like share that crowd. Yeah, we're all about it for sure.
The cool part about the Yinz Run Club is it does move from place to place, and so, you know, we're very proud of our neighborhood. Our location here is very purposeful, and by them being here and exploring the neighborhood through running is it's a pretty fun little perk that we get to share our neighborhood with them.
The goal for any small brewery is to try to expand your audience and try to get people in that aren't normally just sort of passing through your area or through your geography. So any kind of positive activity in underserved neighborhoods is always fantastic.
It's just a great way to view new parts of the city, get to know the city more. Even though I've been here for a while, I'm constantly learning more. And then also seeing different breweries, it's a great opportunity to check out spots I haven't been to as well.
Honestly, I would not have been able to come out to all these different neighborhoods, different breweries, meet these different communities, had it not been for Yinz kind of picking a new brewery every week for me to explore. It feels like my own kind of exploration with this group, which has further encouraged me to explore more breweries and more neighborhoods on my own.
Breweries have a certain type of feel that we wanted to kind of piggyback off of. We never wanted to be a competitive run club. What we're trying to do is to have a community that feels comfortable being themselves in movement. No matter where you kind of come into running, movement, whatever that sort of physical fitness is, this is a place that you can be there. And you don't have to be intimidated by any organization that requires you to have some sort of physical fitness aptitude. Show up how you are, and let's have fun time.
At first it was an excuse to run, but now it's about seeing friends, meeting new people, and it's also inspiring. There's folks here who are running marathons regularly, and then there are folks who are running for the first time in their lives. So it's inspiring on both ends.
I really appreciate the fact that Dan and other people in the club, they go out of their way to actually try to make it more inclusive and try to make sure that everybody feels safe and welcome.
The most important thing for us is to show up, have a good time, be respectful of everyone around you, and enjoy your time with your community. And luckily, that is such an entrenched part about what running is. With any run club here, Philly, London, no matter where we try to build community, it centers on the fact that we're all gonna share miles together. And the fact that we're able to do that is what brings us all together.
Jokingly, I would always say, I said, you know, beer drinkers need to exercise, right? They need to get out of their, you know, wherever, their basement and run, you know, and runners need to be socialized.
If you're too serious of a runner, we want to bring you more this way. If you're maybe, too serious of a beer drinker, maybe bring you a little bit more this way. Meet somewhere in a happy medium.
And that's what we really want, is just get out, get a little bit of movement, and then cheers.
I came my first time alone, and then I just met so many people, see some familiar faces, and it's just a good way to have conversations and get to know people.
I have met almost all of my closest friends through the Beer Runners. Everyone comes to running for a reason, and I'm just happy that we have such a good group of people.
All of our best friends in the city are through Beer Runners. Like, we have 2 full tables of people at our wedding that are just beer runners, which is awesome.
Beer running is not about beer or running. It's really about the community that you build with the relationships that grow out of this.
We just feel so blessed and to have a family here in Fishtown, and you know, it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And all together we're Fishtown Beer Runners. Responsible for running and drinking in the interest of science. To David.
If you're interested in joining in on a beer run, do a simple search online. You may be surprised to find that there's a beer running group near you. If not, start one. Get out and try it. Until next time. Cheers.